When I was diagnosed, I tend to be a somewhat sarcastic person. I was like, who would name a disease, the first syllable is di? It's diabetes, right? So who, first of all, why would you ever name it that? And having a little bit of a medical background, I freaked out. I think before, diabetes was considered as a death sentence, and that's how I took it to be when I was diagnosed, but it's not now. It's the way technology is advanced, it makes it much more manageable.
Lou is one of the most hardworking, loving, kind, just genuinely caring people I've ever known. He was type 2 when we first met, so I kind of felt initially like, okay, that's not that big of a deal. It's just some medication, just a few pills, no big deal. And as time went on, his diagnosis changed and eventually became type 1, so he needed to rely on insulin, and that was more of a learning curve, a little bit scarier.
It's really about being prepared. Even if you're going to go to the shore and you're going to be in the car for 2 to 3 hours stuck on the Schuylkill Expressway, you need to make sure that we have some provisions. Diabetes is, I think, different for everyone, and I mean, I've had it for 20-something years now, and I still don't understand why it does what it does.
I always check on him, usually when we're outside all the time. Make sure he always has his drinking water and tell him to check his blood sugar.
We always have to make sure that he has food on him. For example, candy, we have to make sure that it's in his bag, or he has extra food on him just in case he has a low, so he can boost it back up.
I think for every diabetic, they have their own struggle. I come from a long line of diabetics. It's in our family genes. Type 2 and type 1, no matter what family member I talk to, theirs is different than mine. I take a set of meds, Humalog and Lantus, that works great for me. All contain West products. It is so important that that dose needs to be accurate, and it needs to work every time, so that when I dose myself, I know that I'm getting the dose that I need, that I'm not overdosing or underdosing. It's critical, not just for me, but for the millions of other people that have diabetes that depend on that injection. My grandfather was a quadruple amputee. He lost both arms and both legs because of type 1 diabetes. Now, right, my grandfather died from complications from type 1 diabetes as well. My grandmom died from complications of type 2 diabetes. It's imperative that West employees know, no matter whether you're actually in the lab or quality assurance or regulatory affairs, or it doesn't matter, because we all touch these products in one way or another. And for me to live long enough to see my daughter get married and my grandkids, I depend on those shots. It's actually 4 shots a day, every day, and then 1 additional shot a week that I take. So if you do the math, that's thousands and thousands and thousands of injections that I'll take throughout the course of my life, and every one of them needs to work the first time.